someone? Can you guys tell us if I'm live at all?
Live.
All right, that's amazing. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world, beautiful people. I'm so happy and excited because it's 2026, right? And I know today is the 8th, but I would love to wish each and one of you a Happy New Year, a blessed, abundant year. And I'm also happy to share and really grateful that we kickstart this Truth Runner series from this year with someone really dear and really close to my heart. And I'm really happy to have again with me Dr. Enolia Harris Pedro. Welcome, Enolia, to my show again.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And it's always beautiful to kick off the new year with someone dear that you care about. So thank you.
I thank you. So for you guys, if you are tuning in now live, just tell me where you are tuning in from. If you are watching the replay, say where you are from. Also, we love the love. So if you think that we are very kind, that we share beautiful things, what you really like, then please share some love with us. And for those of you who are watching the Truth Runners for the first time and you did not have the chance to meet Dr. Enolia before, I would love to introduce her in a couple of words and then we have a beautiful conversation after that. So Dr. Enolia Harris Pedro, she's a respected grandmother. She's an elder and a doctor. She's a modern day medicine woman in energy medicine and she's practicing all over the world. With decades of experience, she uses a holistic approach to guide individuals toward a balanced health, integrating ancient traditions into modern wellness practices, and that's beautiful. Enolia offers classes and retreats on healing, self-mastery, dynamic meditations, and conscious mindset. She is internationally recognized as a thought leader. She's an award-winning keynote speaker and an author. She's a global influencer and a coach. And my friend, CEO of Enolia International LLC and Wombology, she's dedicated to youth advocacy and women's empowerment. She also holds a honorary doctorate in international peace ambassadorship from the United Nations and an ambassadorship from Human Rights from the World Assembly of Peace for Peace. So it is truly an honor to have you again with me. It is truly amazing what you accomplished during your life so far.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm humbled and thank you for such a beautiful introduction. And yeah, here we are.
So I would love to ask you before we even go in any conversation, really, because this is our I think yours as well, first live this year. How are you really feeling as you step into this conversation today?
Wow. I'm feeling so honored and then I'm feeling so grateful. Really, really grateful. Grateful to be alive. Grateful to know that as we step forward, moving through this world, we have the opportunity to make an impact. And whether that impact is through writing, whether that impact is through our actions, what we create, what we think up, our ideas, our visions, we still have a way to contribute, bringing our best forward, our best selves forward, to make a contribution positively to humanity. So with that, I am grateful.
Thank you. Well, it's interesting that you are saying that because I'm going to ask you about that a little bit later as we move forward with the conversation, really. But before we get there, I would love to ask you when you look back to your life, really, okay? And because this conversation is about becoming and changing, okay? So let's do that, okay? So if you look back, what moment of or what period in your life was what that changed everything for you? You said, okay, and from there everything changed.
So I would say that when I had this moment of clarity and I stopped lying to myself, Okay, because what happens is that we go through iterations of life and we do what we're told to do, we do what we're expected to do, we do what we feel we have to do so that people will judge us minimally. Okay, and the moment that I finally got to this precipice, and I was just like, I don't like any of it. Instead of saying, oh, I have to do it because of, my parents, oh, I have to do it because people are depending on me, oh, I have to, I have to, I have to. All of the justifications, when I finally threw them out and I was just honest and I was like, I don't like this. I don't want this. How do I get out? That was the life changing moment for me. That
That's,
was huge.
that's interesting you are saying that, because that happened to me. I said, you know what? Why I have to be there for everybody? Why I have to please everybody? Where am I? Where is
Oh,
Krisztina? Okay, where am I? Where is Krisztina? I'm doing all this kind of stuff, and then I kind of feel lost and broken. I feel unsure about myself. I was sure about everybody else around me. I could help them, but I wasn't sure about me. Okay.
That's because we lose us in the middle of being responsible and in relationship with everyone else. Who are we when we're not defined by somebody else? And to answer that question and to look and to honestly, truly embrace and love that person, it's huge. It's huge. And many of us don't do it. We know who we are loved by others or in relationship to others, but not just out of relationship with others and just standing on our own.
And that's hard because you don't know where to even start, right? Because we have these internal beliefs about ourselves that we have to be in a certain way for people, you know,
Yeah.
accept us. What was that belief for you? Or a pattern or a belief that you had to really, truly release in order to become the different person, to become really you?
Well, first of all, I had to learn how to trust myself. Second of all, I had to release what other people thought about me. I don't really care what other people thought about me anymore. You love me, you hate me. Okay, that's your stuff. It's not my stuff, right? I needed to bring the best version of who I am forward and not really care what people's opinion of that person was. Oh, I liked you better when you were this. Oh, I liked you better when you were that. Um, the fact that I'm a grandmother and that went against everything that I learned. I grew up in New York City. I came up the corporate ladder. That stuff that the indigenous people do. What is that? What do you mean energy work? Or what do you mean these types of traditions? I've never. That's not what our norm is. They don't care. This is who I am. This is not how I will be. This is who I am. And that doesn't come in a suit and tie and corporate setup anymore. Okay, wearing the man suit, meaning the man going head to head with the man, not necessary for me, because what I found in it is that I can stand in my own power and define what those terms look like without conditions, without holding on to somebody else's judgment, but honoring my own and honoring what Creator can through me to be.
Now, here I would love to say for those who are watching us today, the woman you are hearing and seeing today, and you see she's so confident and she knows who she is. But getting here, it was a process, really. So if you are watching us today, know that we are here, both of us, really. And all my respect to Enolia. I learned a lot from Enolia. She's my friend, but she is still my mentor. I learned a lot from her. And I'm telling you that when she says that, I know who I am, I'm confident, and I'm not going back there. Guys, this is a process. It's not going to happen from one day to another. Accepting yourself, knowing who you really truly are, is not going to happen from one day to another. Letting go of pleasing people and don't paying attention and take that I don't give a fuck, okay, that takes time. It
It's a
will
lot.
take time.
It's
And
a
it will take a lot of inner work. a lot of inner work, and I know Enolia for long now, couple of years, many years, many years, really. And what I've learned about both of us along the way, that learning, the healing process, the changing and the becoming, it never ends. So when you think that, oh, okay, I arrived, I know everything, oh, I'm perfect, I'm good, that's not like that. It's not like that. So there is always a belief, there is always something what will come up, there is always someone or something that's going to trigger you, okay? But along the way, the relationship with yourself, along the journey is going to change, okay? So, and you talked about something very interesting at the beginning. You said that you are grateful that you can help others. When was the moment when you said, okay, I am who I am, and now I am going to help and serve others? What makes, because this is what we do.
Yeah. And I think that moment came, I have to really think about this. I
Maybe
think
not even a moment.
yeah, because it wasn't any really it wasn't any really just a single moment, but it was an acceptance of self, and then an ability to express self in that new stance. If I can say that correctly, like we all go to classes, we all learn. Like I remember my first time with my first Indigenous grandmother Isabel, who I just spoke with like last night. I'm so excited. And I remember being with her at her home and making like serious mistakes. And it wasn't the fact that I corrected the mistake, it was the fact that I observed the reactions, which weren't the same. And they still held a respect where you feel like you've lost it, and that there's another way of being, there's another way of reacting. There's another way of perceiving what happened and what took place without placing blame, demeaning, belittling, and that you can still move on and it's okay. And you can have a conversation, and that you can still support someone and lift them up even when they have made a mistake and they've done something wrong in your eyes, but it doesn't have to be a condemnation. And I learned that. And I learned that by experience, not by somebody telling me, oh, this is the way you have to be. And that for me shifted everything. Because once you understand there's another way to be, and another way to experience life, and it's a positive way, you want it. You want to live it. You want to share it. And so in terms of treat others how you want them, how you would want to be treated yourself, people were treating me in that kindness of way, no matter what I did. And I wanted to share that. And I think that's when it really, really hit me.
And thank God that shift happened, because I know for a fact that okay, we say we are serving others and we are teaching, but really, your wisdom, your lived experience helped many, hundreds, I think, maybe close to thousands now. And that's the beauty of this, let's call it journey. I don't really like call it a journey, but let's just call it a journey, right? Because you have a lived experience, then you shift, and then you change, and it's like, okay, I can share this with others, and I can hold them, like how I have been held, and I can share my wisdom. So as you said, you can do that through this podcast, through our books, because you have books, or through the book what we are doing together right now, okay? So this is again something what I think, thank God, happened to us, because we are here, and we I don't know about you, but honestly, I love doing this work, and I love the fact that I'm in a position right now to share that with you, and to share it from a lived experience, because I feel that right now we are living in a time when women need these anchors, right? And I think we are, and you are one of those anchors, okay? So you are, and I'm very grateful for that, one of the beautiful souls who responded to my invitation to be part of Woman Rising, the Power of Becoming, an anthology where for the first time I by myself and I gathered beautiful women around me, and you said yes to that, and I'm really truly grateful for that, because walking with you along this journey, it makes me feel valued, let's put it that way, and I'm really grateful that you choose to walk with me. And I would love to invite you, if you just feel inclined, to share what, not the whole story, but
Okay.
one moment, not the whole story, because guys, the book is gonna be released on the 20th of January, so you don't want to miss that. But what moment from your life you choose to share in the book, and why?
So the name of my story is called Evolution. And I chose a moment, and I'm not even going to say what moment I chose, but I chose a moment where in my mind I took a leap of octave. And what I call a leap of octave is that before that moment, we come, we approach, we're ready to go, we go do what we have to do. But after that moment, I felt like I was another person. I felt like Creator had given me and boosted me and given me a leap of octave. Now, I'm not talking about a leap of octave as in feeling superior. I'm not talking about a leap of octave as in, I'm more powerful or anything. I'm talking about a leap of octave in clarity, in harmonious, balanced being. I'm talking about inner understanding of myself even more. I'm talking about clarity on the relationships that I maintain and that I have, and that the value of what's important to me has shifted. And that this lack that the systems around us and the industry around us continuously bombard us with and propagate, so that we always feel that we're in need. Okay. I can see so much of it for what it is. And so when that realization hits you and you step back and you're like, wow, you know, your life has just been shifted. What you approach, how you see the world, and everything that's important to you has shifted. And then the boldness of it is, can I now stand in that truth?
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. Because when priorities shifted, people are used to engaging you the way that they always have. And it's like, well, why are you different? What's wrong with it? Why can't you do this anymore? Blah, 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 blah. But when you honor yourself and you honor what has shifted within, then you know that I have to stand in this truth. This is who I am. And you will honor me or not. That's okay too. But here's where my boundaries.
Thank you for sharing that, really, because, and thank you for, so guys, first of all, I would love to invite you, when the book is released, just buy the book and read the chapters. Read Enolia's chapter. Is absolutely phenomenal, where she's talking about what happened, where it happened, and actually what shifted. And it's true that we are so constantly triggered, really triggered, and be told on thousands of directions that we are not good enough, or we will only be good enough if you wear that certain makeup, otherwise you won't look young. And if you don't have that certain shampoo, oh my god, your hair. So you know, guys, what I'm talking about, okay? But what we say is that your beauty comes from inside, and it's gonna show when you are in peace with yourself, when you really truly know who you are, and when you set your boundaries, as Enolia said a little bit earlier, maybe your circle will be smaller or very small, but it will be meaningful and of people who resonate on the same frequency as you are. And again, to get here, to have this understanding and to have this shift about what Enolia is talking about, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's a process. You have to be okay with not being okay. You have to be okay to leave people behind. You have to be okay for people leave you because she's a freak, she's a woo-woo. And you have to be okay with that. And that's the beauty of it, okay? So,
And I would also add to that you have to be okay to ask help to facilitate it. And you have to be okay with no longer lying to yourself and understanding that you need the help to get you over the precipice of what it is you feel that's blocking you.
I love that actually. That should be or could be actually a completely whole other conversation about where are we lying to ourselves, really. Because I think we can talk about that a lot. Because truth to be told, yeah, we do. I did. Sometimes even now, I catch myself. Okay, Krisztina. Now, honestly, what do you lie to yourself? So that's another level, another conversation. Um, Now, if a woman um, who is in the middle of her own becoming right now and is listening to us now, watching to us, or she's gonna watch the replay, what is it that you would want her to know?
I would want her to know that the heart actually has intuition and thinking. And we've been
Yes.
taught so long to follow our heads and not our heart. And we've actually been shamed when we speak and said, well, I'm just following my heart. And not to allow that to be a judgment placed on you. To follow your heart, follow your intuition, to navigate through the stories that people want to hold you hostage to. And navigate through the story that you hold yourself hostage to. Because the heart longs for us to do things so that we grow. The head tells us everything we can't do in order to honor what the heart is asking us to. So that's why the heart longs for it, because you are capable and you can do it. And don't let that ego, that head, get in the way of what that heart desires, because that is what life is supposed to be. You grow, you evolve, and you seek and you expand.
True. Thank you for sharing that. Really, listen. We always say, "Oh, listen to your heart," but we don't really until we learn to listen. And we have to know how to listen to our heart because nobody ever told us how to listen to her. And if you guys, if no, I really invite you. Enolia has such a beautiful program actually. So she's gonna teach you how to. No, really. This is not. I've been there. I've done that with her, and she was the one who actually opened my eyes. And I said, okay, and I'm teaching that now as well. Heart thinks faster and better than your mind. Your heart forms before your brain. Come on.
Yeah.
it's I would love to ask you, okay, I mean, okay, again, this is another, like a whole day long conversation. I would love to ask you because we are talking about becoming, right? About the journey. And now, what becoming means to you now? The new Enolia, the shifted Enolia, the Enolia who has more wisdom. What the word or what becoming really looks like or means to you now.
It means honoring that creator gave us the ability to always seek and to want, and that mine is a thirst that will never end. It will never end. I will always be educating myself. I will always be seeking knowledge. I will always hope that that knowledge shifts to wisdom. And then my thirst never quench. So I may be 100 years old and I'll be reading and learning and seeking. I'm a lifelong learner. Um, I know that each one of us is powerful and that my light counts. And I will always hold my light. I don't care in the darkest of days. I will be that lighter that's flicked in the dark cave. And I will not allow the cave to consume me, but I will be the one that changes the cave. We sometimes forget it only takes one. It only takes one. And so I'll always remember that your light, my light, each one of us is a light, and it counts. And it is never belittled, and it can never be snuffed out and let somebody else, if you allow somebody else to do it.
It's beautifully said. There is a quote from Rumi. I'm not sure if I can quote it exactly, but it sounds something like that. It's exactly what you just said, that when you see darkness around you, what darkness, maybe just look again, maybe you are the light, really. So you are looking for the light, but maybe you are the one. It comes from within, so thank you for that. And before my last question, and before we close this live today, I would love to say, you guys, if you are watching this, that the book, The Woman Rising, The Power of Becoming, is going to be released on the 20th of January, so stay tuned. There are some beautiful and really truly powerful and inspiring chapters, including Enolia's. Enolia's evolution is absolutely phenomenal. It's worth reading because maybe you will find yourself between the lines. Maybe is what you are looking for. Sometimes we think that we have to have big shifts and we have to go to pay for mentors and coaches and they gonna teach us. It might not be the case. Maybe just reading something, maybe just something what you can relate, and maybe someone who said, okay, she did it, she inspires you, and that's the moment, that's the shift what you are waiting for, and your life will take a completely different turn. So just stay tuned. On the January 20th, we're going to release the book, and feel free to buy it, read the chapters, and be inspired. And before we finish today, I would love to ask you, you know me, I don't like advices and I don't give advices, okay? But if there is one sort of wisdom, what you would love to share with those on the journey of becoming, or on this journey of changing and trying to find themselves. Okay, you are not lost, really. I don't really like this one, but let's put it this way. What is it, one thought or one thing, one wisdom that you would love to share with them?
I think it would be take the leap.
Mm.
Take the leap and expand your horizons. We have limited beliefs all around us. We don't do this, we don't do that. That's not my cup of tea, okay? Take the leap and dare to introduce something that you never would have thought that you would have embraced before.
That's a good.
And maybe it's something that you've loved the whole time, but because people create perceptions of what things are and how they are, or because they're so down on it, you are afraid or you are scared to dare to show interest or dare to explore it. And I'm saying we live one life in our life. You have one lifetime. If you don't do it now, you never will. Take the leap.
Well, thank you. And that's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I completely, 100%, when they have the questioners agree, well, I strongly agree. I strongly agree with what Enolia said. I would love to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being in my life, for being with me on this journey of becoming, for being one of the beautiful authors in the book, and for being my friend. And I would love to say thank you for you who tuned in, and thank you very much for the lots of hearts you send, guys, if you are watching this now or you're going to watch in the replay. Oh, one more thing before we
Yes,
say
one more
goodbye.
thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Krisztina, for giving all of us a voice and a platform and to express ourselves through the writing, through the podcast, and through all of the many ways. Because again, look how beautiful this contribution is that you brought together and planned. So appreciated. So appreciated. And then
Thank
that
you.
way, you never know the effects, the ripple effects that take place just from this moment. So thank you.
Well, what we're gonna do that I thank me and I thank you and I thank you guys, and stay tuned because we are going to go live with the Truth Runners in January many times with many other beautiful souls. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and light. Mwah. Bye for now.